After the service, the Queen and Prince Philip rode back to Buckingham Palace in the same gold stagecoach. Watched over by crowds and the press, London was just one scene of the festivities. Around the country, towns and villages hosted parties. Some invited local dignitaries, others invited everyone. There were parades with Mars dancers, brass bands, majorettes, and local heroes. Many communities honored those who had served them, shopkeepers who had been pillars of the community for decades, teachers who had shaped generations of schoolchildren, or the postmen who knew everyone by name. Every face in the crowd had its own story. Every smile reflected the joy of the moment. It wasn't just about the Queen. It was about being British. This spirit resonated around the world. With colonies across the globe having become independent nations, the Jubilee became a pan-Commonwealth celebration in Australia. Crowds gathered in Canberra, the new national capital. In Canada, people celebrated with a stamp issued to mark the occasion. And in India, the celebrations were widely reported in newspapers, reflecting the enduring impact of the crown. At the time, the Silver Jubilee was seen as a chance for Britain to showcase itself to the world. The Queen was the figurehead, but it was the people who were the stars of the show. The spirit of the time was captured in a song, Make It a Party, sung by the now legendary group Brotherhood of Man. Their infectious tune became the unofficial anthem of the Silver Jubilee, representing the fun, enthusiasm, and unity of the celebrations. In fact, the song went on to win the Eurovision Song Contest in 1976, further connecting the Silver Jubilee with Europe and the rest of the world. The lyrics urged everyone to come together and make the Queen's Silver Jubilee a memorable moment for her. They sang about sharing good times and bad, but also look forward to a future filled with hope and happiness for the Queen and the nation. The song remains a nostalgic reminder of the outpouring of love and loyalty the British people had for their monarch. Looking back, the Queen's Silver Jubilee was more than just a royal milestone. It was a celebration of a particular time in British history. The Second World War had ended just 3 decades earlier. The country was still recovering, rebuilding, and defining its place in the post-war world. The Queen had come to the throne as a young woman and had been a constant throughout the challenges and triumphs of her subjects. She represented stability, dignity, and a continuity with the past. The austerity of post-war Britain was gradually giving way to prosperity and optimism. The economic challenges of the 1970s notwithstanding, there was a sense that Britain had a bright future ahead of it. The Silver Jubilee celebrations were a reflection of this changing times. People came together to celebrate not only the Queen, but also the progress they had made as a nation. The mood was joyous. Even in the face of economic difficulties, there was a sense of community and national pride that transcended social and economic divisions. This spirit of togetherness was encapsulated in the decorations that adorned streets and homes. Red, white, and blue bunting, the traditional colors of the British monarchy, were everywhere. People made their own decorations, from hand-sewn flags to elaborate displays of flowers and balloons. This DIY approach gave each celebration a personal touch, reflecting the effort and enthusiasm of the communities involved. Street parties were held across the United Kingdom. These gatherings were not just about food and drink, but about bringing people together. Neighbors got to know each other, sharing stories and laughter over cups of tea and plates of sandwiches. Local businesses donated food and drink, while volunteers organized games and entertainment for children. These parties created lasting memories for those who attended. Children born in the 1970s would later recall the sense of community and belonging they experienced at these events. The Queen's Silver Jubilee was a watershed moment in British history. It marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. The celebrations of 1977 were not only a tribute to the Queen, but also to the resilience and optimism of the British people. They had endured the hardships of war and economic challenges, and now they were looking to the future with confidence and pride. The spirit of the Silver Jubilee continues to resonate today. It reminds us of the importance of community, the value of tradition, and the power of hope and optimism in the face of adversity. As we look back on this historic moment, we can't help but feel a sense of pride and nostalgia. The Queen's Silver Jubilee was a time when Britain came together to celebrate its history, its culture, and its people. It was a moment that captured the imagination of the world and left an indelible mark on those who experienced it. Today, we invite you to share your own memories of the Queen's Silver Jubilee. Did you participate in the street parties or watch the celebrations on television? What do you remember most about this historic moment? Share your thoughts and memories below. We would love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, Time Vault Chronicles, where we bring you the most unforgettable moments in history. Thank you for watching. Until next time. It was a day unlike any other. People across Britain were glued to their television sets, not to watch a royal wedding or a funeral, but to celebrate a milestone in their queen's life. On June 1977, millions of Britons came out onto the streets to celebrate the Silver Jubilee, marking 25 years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. But this wasn't just another royal event. It was a moment for the entire country to come together, to revel in its history and its future. The lead up to the bank holiday weekend had been filled with anticipation. Schools had spent weeks crafting floats for local parades. Streets were transformed into party zones, complete with bunting, balloons, and flags. The nation was adorned in red, white, and blue. Every village hall, every community center, every pub, and every house seemed to be decked out in royal finery. The excitement was palpable. There were street parties, garden parties, and even village feasts. People were encouraged to bake a cake, organize a raffle, or put on a performance. The whole country was participating in the festivities. But it was not only in London. Across the UK, from the smallest villages in Scotland to the seaside towns of Wales, and from busy cities like Manchester and Birmingham to quiet corners of Cornwall, the Jubilee was celebrated with equal passion. Communities organized carnivals with decorated floats, brass bands filled the air with music, and fireworks lit up the night skies. Children received commemorative mugs, coins, and badges from their school's treasures they would keep for decades as souvenirs of 1977. For many families, the Jubilee Street Party was the highlight. Imagine a long row of tables set out on a closed street, plates filled with sausage rolls, pork pies, Victoria sponge cakes, and jelly set in bright colors, bottles of orange squash and lemonade for the children, while adults enjoyed tea or a glass of something stronger. Neighbors who might never have spoken much before now laughed together, clinking cups and sharing stories. The atmosphere was filled with cheer, pride, and a sense of togetherness that is hard to describe. But what made this celebration so significant? Why did people go to such lengths to decorate their towns, to bake extra cakes, to organize a day of festivities? At its heart, the Silver Jubilee was a reflection of Britain's love for its monarch and its traditions. In an era of political unrest and economic hardship, the monarchy provided a sense of stability and continuity. Elizabeth II had ascended to the throne in 1953, a time of austerity and rationing. She had witnessed the country's evolution from a post-war society to one marked by social change and economic challenges. Yet she remained a constant, a symbol of the nation's identity and heritage. As the country celebrated her 25-year reign, it was not just the Queen's role that was being honored, but the very essence of British culture and values that she embodied. This was a time when Britain was experiencing a cultural revolution. Music genres like punk and new wave were challenging the status quo. Fashion was becoming bolder and more experimental, and the youth were at the forefront of this change. But amidst this revolution, the monarchy and the traditions it represented seemed almost alien. It was as if the old ways and the new were colliding. Yet the Silver Jubilee brought these two worlds together. It showed that tradition and modernity were not mutually exclusive. The celebrations were a blend of the old and the new, a fusion of British customs and modern sensibilities. The pageants and processions may have harkened back to a more traditional era, but they were watched and participated in by people of all ages, including those at the forefront of the Cultural Revolution. And how did the Queen herself embody this fusion? Her Majesty, known for her grace and dignity, had adapted to the changing times. In the late 1970s, she was not the distant, unapproachable figure that some may have imagined. Instead, she was seen as a modern monarch, willing to engage with the changing cultural landscape. Her appearance on the cover of Newsweek magazine in 1978, a first for a reigning monarch, symbolized this shift. This image of a more approachable, relatable queen resonated with people across Britain, fostering a deeper connection between the crown and its subjects. The Silver Jubilee also reflected the spirit of the times. Britain in the late 1970s was a place of contrast, political unrest, and economic hardship on one hand, but also creativity, fashion, and music on the other. Punk rock was rising in the streets, while the monarchy represented tradition and continuity. The Silver Jubilee managed to bring these worlds together, showing that even in difficult times, unity and pride could shine through. Perhaps the most touching part of the Silver Jubilee was the way children experienced it. For them, it was a day of music, treats, and the excitement of being part of something larger than themselves. Many recall being given small Union Jack flags at school, dressing in paper crowns and joining parades. Some still remember standing in the rain to wave at the Queen's car as it passed their town. Others remember the joy of receiving a commemorative coin from their local council, feeling as if they were holding a piece of history in their hands. Such moments were not just about celebrating a monarch, but about instilling a sense of national pride and identity. The idea that they were part of something bigger than themselves, that they were British, filled them with a sense of belonging and loyalty. Children were not the only ones who found meaning in the celebrations. For many adults, the Silver Jubilee was a shared experience that transcended social and economic boundaries. It was a day when the focus was not on differences, but on unity. People from all walks of life came together to celebrate their queen and their country. In a time when Britain was grappling with various social issues, the Jubilee provided a sense of cohesion. It was a reminder of what they had in common, of the values and traditions that bound them together. Then there were the families. Parents and grandparents who had lived through World War II and the difficult post-war years saw the Jubilee as a symbol of resilience. They had watched the young queen crowned in 1953, and now, 25 years later, they gathered with their children and grandchildren to celebrate her reign. For them, it was not just about monarchy, but about survival, pride, and continuity. The Silver Jubilee became a bridge between generations, a reminder of where Britain had been and where it was going. As the celebrations drew to a close on that June bank holiday Monday, there was a sense of contentment, not just about the festivities, but about the state of the nation. The Silver Jubilee had been a resounding success. The crowds had cheered, the parties had been joyous, and the Queen had smiled graciously from town to town. It was as if the country had rediscovered a sense of unity and purpose. In the days following the Jubilee, there was a noticeable shift in the mood. The newspapers carried tales of the celebrations, the photographs capturing the smiles, the laughter, and the sense of community. For many, the Jubilee became a cherished memory, a reminder of a time when Britain had come together in a spirit of unity and celebration. But perhaps the most important legacy of the Silver Jubilee was the sense of hope it instilled. In a time of economic uncertainty and social change, it had reminded the nation of its strength, its resilience, and its ability to adapt. The celebrations had not been about shunning the changes that Britain was facing, but about embracing them while honoring the country's rich heritage. As the Queen had said in her message to the Commonwealth, the qualities that have helped us in the past are the same today: a strong sense of family and of service, and above all, faith in our common humanity. The Silver Jubilee was more than a royal celebration. It was a reflection of a nation's character, a testament to the enduring appeal of its tradition, and a celebration of the spirit of its people. It was a time of joy, unity, and hope, a moment that stayed with those who experienced it, reminding them that even in times of change and uncertainty, there was strength in unity and beauty in tradition. The year is 1977. Queen Elizabeth II is celebrating her 25th year on the throne, and across Britain, people are preparing for an extended bank holiday weekend filled with festivities. As the big day approaches, excitement builds. Streets are adorned with bunting. Houses are draped in flags. Shopkeepers hang red, white, and blue streamers from their windows. Paper lanterns are suspended from trees and lampposts, casting an ethereal glow over the crowds. Homemade banners proclaiming, "Queen and Country" or "God Save the Queen" are held aloft, their messages echoing the sentiments of a nation. Even the humble dustbin is not spared, often becoming an unlikely pedestal for a miniature Union Jack. Windows are transformed into patriotic displays featuring the Queen, her children, or even scenes from the famous Trooping of the Colors ceremony. A sea of red, white, and blue envelops the country, and when the wind blows, the flags ripple like waves crashing on a summer's day. It's a visual feast, a vibrant tapestry woven across the nation. It seems the entire country has been painted in the colors of the Union Jack. Amongst the sea of loyalists, there are, of course, dissenting voices. Some criticize the cost of the celebrations, questioning whether so much money should be spent on the monarchy. Others see it as an opportunity to voice their dissent, perhaps carry banners of their own, albeit with different messages. Despite these dissenting voices, the spirit of unity is palpable. Communities come together, sharing in the excitement, organizing street parties, baking cakes, and donning party hats. It's a chance to escape the everyday, to be part of something bigger. The rain may fall, or the sun may shine, but come rain or shine, the festivities continue. People stand together, United in their shared experience, their faces turned towards the palace, their hearts filled with the music and pageantry of the day. When the sun dips below the horizon, the sky becomes a canvas of red, white, and blue, a fitting finale to a day of celebration. Fireworks light up the darkness, their vibrant colors echoing the hues of the day. Families stand shoulder to shoulder in gardens and parks, their eyes sparkling with wonder, mirroring the lights that dance before them. Children laugh, their tiny hands clutching sparklers, their faces illuminated by the magic of the moment. For many, it feels like the end of a festival, the closing of a chapter. Yet it's also the beginning of treasured memories, moments that will be recounted around family tables in years to come. The Silver Jubilee of 1977 is not just a celebration of the Queen, it's a celebration of Britain, its people, its history, and its hope for the future. It's a reminder that even in the midst of economic uncertainty or political turmoil, there's strength in tradition, beauty in unity, and magic in the shared experience of a community coming together. And as the last firework fades into the night sky, leaving behind only echoes of its brilliance, the people of Britain, both young and old, are united in their appreciation of the spectacle they have just witnessed. The Silver Jubilee may have been a celebration of the Queen, but it's the people who truly steal the show. Their resilience, their humor, their kindness, and their ability to find joy in the simplest of things, all qualities that have come to define the British spirit. So dear viewers, what about you? Do you or your family have memories of the Queen's Silver Jubilee? Did you attend a street party or keep a commemorative coin or mug? Share your stories in the comments. We would love to hear them. The year is 1977. The Sex Pistols have just done their infamous gig at the Manchester Lesser Free Trade Hall. It is a cold December night, and the only people out are the hardy punk rock fans and some bobbies on the beat. Inside the hall, a young woman named Denise sits in the front row, mesmerized by the chaos unfolding before her. For her, it's been a night like no other. She watches as the band members sneer and scream at each other and at the audience. And she sees the anger and frustration in their eyes, the same emotions that she herself has harbored for many years. Up until this point, she's felt rather alone, misunderstood, angry at the world and its expectations of her. But tonight, watching these four men on stage, she feels a sense of belonging, a feeling that there are others who get it, who feel the same way she does. As the gig ends, she rushes outside to find a taxi home, but they're all full of angry fans. So she starts walking. Along the way, she passes a newsagent and walks in to kill some time. That's when she sees it, a music paper with the Sex Pistols on the cover. On the front, the headline reads, "Pistols Invade Manchester." Below it, a smaller print says, "Fans go wild as notorious anti-establishment group causes chaos." Denise buys the paper and starts reading. The article talks about the band's controversial performance, their anti-establishment views, and their confrontational attitude. Denise feels a surge of excitement. Could this be the way to express herself, to show the world how she really feels? She takes the paper with her as she continues her walk home. As she walks, she thinks about what she could do with the paper. An idea starts to form in her mind, an idea that will change her life forever. When she gets home, she opens up her wardrobe and pulls out a white dress. It's a stark, almost blinding white against the dark fabric of her wardrobe. She puts on the dress, looks at herself in the mirror, and smiles. She takes the music paper and pins it to the dress, creating a makeshift shield. Then she heads out into the night, back to the city center and to the spot where she saw the Sex Pistols play. There, in front of the Lesser Free Trade Hall, she strikes a pose, the white dress with the music paper fluttering in the wind. A taxi pulls up and a man inside asks if she wants a lift. She gets in. As they drive away, she looks back at the hall one last time. In the distance, she can see the angry punk rock fans heading home. But for now, she's too busy looking forward to her own future, a future that's just begun. What will she do next? What will become of her and the music paper dress? Will she become a famous punk rock singer like Chrissy Hind or Susie Sue? Maybe she'll become a fashion designer or an artist. Who knows? But one thing's for sure. Her journey of self-discovery has just begun. So what will you do today to discover more about the fascinating history of your favorite era?